So there's a VTuber that was present and fairly prominent when I first entered the Twitter VTuber space. I didn't really know anybody at the time, but I got some feelings about the dude. Like, I had nothing to point towards as any explicit red flag, so to speak. It was just kind of vibes, so I just let myself keep that distance, didn't really reach out kind of thing. I was put on one of his lists of like Tora's harem or something like that. He had a few of those lists where he'd put female VTubers on, and well, we're going to get into what he actually ended up doing. And trigger warning, we are going to be talking about sexual assault. So if that is a uncomfortable topic for you, now's your time to step out of the video or the stream, whichever you're watching. But it started March 17th when a VTuber known as Lily broke her silence. She shared her story on Twitter, which got a fair amount of traction. A lot of people knew of this guy if they had not had direct engagements with him or direct contact. I was nowhere near close to him at all. At most, our orbits sort of came together, but not really. Yeah, it's wild. You wanted to be his friend when you started. Yeah, I get that. Thinking, looking up to VTubers that are successful. So what we have here is a 15-page document of, well, their experiences with this Tora. And there have been more than one person that has come out with similar stories. Not exactly the same stuff, but still similar. And his response was, let's go with ukulele tier. Except there was no ukulele. That would have been preferred, I guess. Honestly, I think the best thing the dude could have done is just disappear. His response did not help. Anyways, let's dive into it. Lily writes, I never thought I would come out with this. I never thought something like this could happen, but it did. I originally was too scared to say anything. Worries of if anybody would believe me or if I'd be harassed for coming out about this. However, the more I thought about it, the more I knew I had to, because what if? What if somebody else just lets him walk all over them? And what if what happened to me happens to somebody else? I cannot, with good conscience, not share what happened to me when I know it could help somebody else. This isn't made to cancel or start a witch hunt. This document is made with the intention to hope that this is purely a beware, a warning to anyone who is mutual, plans to befriend, or is unaware. Maybe if something similar in any way is happening to you, you can notice the signs that I didn't. If you choose to remain Tora's friend, that is your choice and decision. But do not invite me to servers he will be a part of or collabs he is a part of. I ask for that at least, which is, going forward, not something that we'll need to be worried about, because dude made a graduation post and then, well, that's where we're at with him. But I saved the relevant stuff that we need. Before the trip, some context is needed. Tora and I first met my good friend and one of my first VTuber friends, Scar's server. They met in that server, I guess. A common run-on joke that evolved as a group of us got closer and closer is that someday we would all meet up together at a convention or place and hang out. About a year later, as time went on, that place was AX, 2023 Anime Expo? I don't know what AX stands for. A group of them were going to rent an Airbnb and all hang out. I wanted to go, but wasn't sure if I could afford it at the time, and wasn't sure if my parents, I was 20 and never had traveled alone, would even let me. I would hope they would let you. You're an adult. My 2 cents. However, around this time of planning, the Hololive EN concert was announced, and that it would be taking place in LA during the same time as AX. I was originally planning on getting a streaming ticket until a good friend messaged me saying that he's able to get 2 tickets, and his other friend also got 2 tickets. So they each had a spare one, and if I was able to fly out, I could go to the concert. I am a massive Hololive fan if you don't know me, and I begged my parents to help me out and let me go see my Oshis on stage. After all, they saved my life many times. A compromise was met, and my aunt was going to come with me, and we would be staying in a hotel room together. But our trips were unique and our own. I was overjoyed to tell my friends I could go, and we were excited after a year and we could all finally meet. However, when Tora found out, he also was excited, but there was something more. It was no secret Tora at one point wanted to be more than friends. However, there were some things that I didn't meet for his quote-unquote dating criteria at the time. It's also young kids. Wait, how old is Lily? I assumed 18 at least. But yeah, this is young kid behavior. 20? Okay. Dirt. I'm silly. I'm 20. Yes, 20 is pretty young. I think 20 is very, very young to me. Not the kind of people I pursue for a relationship. Fun fact, I don't pursue anybody for a relationship. I don't want more. I'm happy with my... Yeah, 20 at the time. So, older now. But still. You're old the day you say someone else is young. Fair. Where was I? The biggest was that he wanted somebody in his own state. While I thought that ship had sailed, Tora, I guess, when he heard we were going to be in the same area for a while, still wanted to at least get in my pants. The earliest I recounted when going back to our DMs of this starting after it was confirmed I was going to AX. I will keep calling it that even though I never went to the con. Was in April. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, still the... Oh my goodness, this is sounding yikes. Yeah, it's sounding yikes. Yeah, it could have just been a fun time where online friends get to meet for the first time, get to see their Oshis, have a concert. It could have been wonderful. That's when the tuned up flirting began and the suggestion of something more. This persisted until July, when the trip and concert was. I will now share some screenshots of the things he said. You may be wondering why I was giving in to all this and letting my walls down, and my answer is that I had known him for a year. He hadn't done anything so unredeemable and horrifying yet, and I trusted him. Tora, unfortunately, was like my rock when I was coming out of a rough breakup back in December of 2022. I hung out on his server and with everyone else there to cope and take my mind off things. And since he had helped me, I was willing to look past some of the things he said, whatnot. I was vulnerable, and I guess in a very human way wanted attention that I missed. Tora knew how to press every button and had known me long enough to figure out how to get me to even slightly reciprocate. I let my walls and guard down, and around this time I've even begun catching feelings for him. So when he brought up the topic of having sex at AX, I was scared, but I didn't totally say no. There were some other things that happened to me as well as made me uncomfortable that I let slide. For example, he had sent me an unsolicited dick pic, red flag, and even more often he would ask for an audio or lewd photos of myself. Yeah, that's like I sleep with a lot of my friends just because, well, we're sex positive and it's fun, but I don't get unsolicited pics from them, or I don't send them unsolicited pics. I don't. My God, dude. Uh, oh, something I was going to say earlier. From what I had gathered of like all this broadly as I was looking into it, my vibe was this is reminding me of the Smash Bros tournaments, basically where it's young people get the like online internet fame, so they kind of get more attention than they're used to, and then shitty behaviors come out. They start taking advantage of the power dynamic kind of thing, and well, it leads to situations like this, which is why you should be careful. Be careful, please. Just excuse me. I know I am not the only one he would ask, which makes me sad. He, from what I remember of my interactions with Tora, yeah, he was a pretty openly flirty, lewd dude tuber. So, for me, this all tracks. But I didn't know the guy personally. I knew of him. Remember to communicate before you do something sexual or intimate, and always mention when you are uncomfortable with something sexual or intimate. Absolutely. You want to have that enthusiastic yes. A begrudging yes is a no. You don't want people to feel forced into reciprocating this shit. Where was I? Pressure and pushed me into sending photos sometimes. I would actually, even though I didn't want to, which I definitely shouldn't have. Yeah, that's kind of what these people like to do. You don't even want people to feel neglectful. Or regretful, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Tora, but like, we both do it actually sexy. I'm not sexy, I'm silly. I literally want to fuck you so bad. But you don't want to say hi to me in LA? Shake my head. That's because you're being a meanie and want to peg me, coward. I was joking. I'm not into pegging, coward. Oh, fucking course, I'll grab you. Like, oh, that's fun. That's a natural progression of conversation there. No, I don't think I will. Since you want to act goofy, Lily, I don't think you will. Since you want to act goofy and meet up with all these blank to probably bus, you don't need me. Lamau, Lily, if I could meet you, I fucking would. I don't want to hear it, backtracking motherfucker. But you live in a cold ass white people state. Oh, is this racism against white people? It is not. Besides the point. Fuck you. Lily, if you were in blank right now, I would be at your place right now, smooching, hugging, kissing you right now. I'm sure you would. I had something like that with a German YouTuber very recently. What? If somebody's making you uncomfortable, be direct about it. If you do want to pursue intimate engagements with people, be direct about it. And if they say no, move on. Literally all that needs to happen. We're goddamn adults. There's also a very uncomfortable thing as well I found when rereading our messages. He admitted to masturbating to my voice on streams. There are some VTubers that are into that, but that's not the thing you just say to somebody unless you already know they're into it. Like, why would that just come up? I know you can't really stop that, and people have their own minds. Yeah, to me, the weird part is telling them. Because, like, I can't stop anybody from flicking the bean or pulling the pud to this. Like, if my content is what you get off to, enjoying my voice, I mean, have at her. You don't need to tell me. You don't need my consent to do that. The weird part is telling me. We're getting weirded out because it's just weird. Yeah, like, for real. But I don't want people. But I don't want to know you're doing that. It made me feel gross and never want to speak again. I was trying to play a game and have fun, not have some guy, let alone someone who I thought was my best friend, jack it to my voice on a stream. Yeah, that's fucking. You can build those types of relationships if you're open and communicative about it, but for fuck's sakes, you don't do it and then see how they feel if you're gonna fucking talk to you. I'll keep that in mind. I worry I might scare you. No, you're fine. I'm an open book. People are free to talk to me about whatever. Sometimes I'll just listen to your stream and do it. Teehee. What? Yeah, because I like your voice. Which stream? Any of them? I'll be like, me horny. Lily is on. What? This is not going along with it, dude. She is in shock in this screenshot. Really weird to make it public too. Yeah, for real, I can give you at least a small list of lewd tubers who unironically like that stuff of being just sent random hentai or being told, hey, your voice turns me on, and I cranked it to that. I can point to some that do that. I can point to the rest of the VTubers who don't like that. Oh my god. And this was before, yeah, this was in May 2023. So this was right before was that after? Okay, so that was like after when AX was supposed to be, but before the concert, the trip, and the incident. So it looks like we're getting into the stuff. People with culture can tell what those images are of. The weird VTubers are just a reflection of the broad range of people there are in the world. Yeah, like there is no barrier to entry to be a VTuber. Literally anybody can be a VTuber. You just gotta do it, pretty much. You make your model, whether it be a picture, a PNG tuber, or a VRoid, or whatever, you can just make one and be a VTuber. Hey, Nikki. We're talking about sexual assault, so trigger warning. Where was I going? I forget. Let's continue. My first day of the trip, I did not meet Tora. The second day of the trip, however, is when we planned that we would meet up after the HoloLive concert and take an Uber together to get to the Scarlet Kingdom / City Airbnb. Like the stream. Yes, everybody, like the stream, like the video, please. Helps the engagement algorithm. Engagemento. Where was I? Where was I? Airbnb Scar server name, and we would hang out there for a bit. I have no idea who this Scar is, by the way. However, plans didn't end up entirely that way, and little did I know that night I would grow to dread. My holo friend and I met up and hung out during the early half of the day before he took us in his car to pick up some other holo friends who were in the same HoloLive shitpost server. We all had carpooled to the EN pre-show because that's where we're going to meet another holo friend who had ordered a pizza for all of us. Sounds like a pretty good time so far. I can't remember if it was on the drive there or at the pre-show when I found out Tora and a different VTuber friend of his were also at the pre-show, which was at some large park. While we were in line for the pizza distribution, that's when Tora walked over to us. I think I told him where we were. That is when I saw him. He liked to make fun of it, but I was too scared to hug him. Ultimately, he coerced me into giving him a hug, and I felt a bit more at ease. I was nervous not only because of social anxiety and being an introvert, but because I was under the impression of him and I were going to do something the following night. Oh man, like for me, I definitely don't try to put expectations onto people. I personally have hopes that the people I'm hanging out with and talking with are down to bone and fool around, because I like to do that. However, I don't go into any situation expecting to get my dick wet. It's just me. Where was I? Also, side note, he was the one who chose the lewd art and thought it would be a funny joke. I don't know what his intentions were at this time, but also something to point out. Oh, okay, so like they have lewd art together, or they had lewd art together, and I think it's different around swinger culture or whatever you call it. Oh my god, it is modern day swinger culture. All I know is sex is fun. Don't push people into doing it, because then honestly, you're not going to have a good time. If you want to have a good time with it, they gotta want to do it too. We went our separate ways to the venue. What's swinger culture? Like being in a relationship and then sleeping around with people, and your partner is fully aware and does not care, or they also engage in sleeping around with other people. Basically, open relationships stuff. I personally have a lot of polyamorous friends who are like open relationship, multiple relationship, everybody's aware, everybody's cool with it. I am ethically non-monogamous. I have one partner that I am never going to replace, and I sleep around, and she is aware of that. She doesn't care. She's fine with it. Nothing gets me harder than dripping wet, steamy consent. Absolutely. Like, unironically, it's so much more interesting to me when there is actually, like, you know that they want to be there. And the best way to find out, you give them outs. You give them a bit of space to be like, hey, if I'm moving too fast, you tell me, please, kind of thing. After the concert, unironically, I do hope Lily enjoyed the concert itself, because where we're going is not exactly a great thing, so hopefully there is some kind of silver lining here for her. There is no silver lining for Tora in this instance. After the concert, me and my hollow friend are waiting for Tora to come out of the venue. It took a very long time because once you left these gates, security didn't want to let us back in. That's pretty usual, standard. Eventually he comes out and I say goodbye to my hollow friends. I order an Uber and we begin to walk to the pickup area. This is where things change. Tora tells me that we can't do anything because essentially he was talking to this other person who lives in the same state as him and kind of wants to pursue them. And they think they are a thing, so it would technically be okay to do things, but out of quote respect for them, he wouldn't. So this is leading up to the incident. We haven't gotten to an incident, and right now we're being told that he's saying, yeah, I'm not going to be doing anything because I have a person I'm interested in. And I think the person... I'm not going to speculate on the stuff. We will just continue on. I wasn't really upset about him, and I wouldn't hook up. I was a bit relieved, to be honest. What I was upset about was the fact that he, for months, led me on and pressured me into doing things, sending things, and making it seem like he wanted me just to be tossed out. That I can understand. I felt stupid and used for letting my walls down. I kicked myself for thinking I expected any different from him. After all, it wasn't the first time he had this playboy mentality. He took pride in the fact he had many feminine people wrapped around his fingers. He liked telling them what they wanted to hear. He treated them like objects almost. I was a fool to think he'd treat me any different. I tried to choke back my anger and sadness, and we walked back to the Uber pickup spot. I don't know if she believes in purity or whatnot, but like, there is a little, in my mind at least, there's a little contradictory thing of like, I understand, but I totally get it though. Like, let's say he is kind of pressuring her to do this shit, and then when he just up and ghosts or up and changes direction out of nowhere, it can make the person feel like oh, so I'm not good enough kind of thing. When you've been talking me up all this time, it's a messy situation. I definitely feel bad for Lily. I'm glad I kept my distance from Tora. I felt stupid and used for letting my walls down, kicked myself for expecting any different. Oh, okay, I read that. She knew how he is, but wanted him to be a husband material. It could be like a I could fix him kind of thing. But again, I don't actually want to speculate in on this. Oh no, you're fine. That's what chat's for. It's my mistake for engaging with you guys. But for real, I do enjoy talking with you, chat. In the Uber, there was a point where our Uber driver asked Tora and I if he could quickly take a piss. Shockingly, he pulled into a neighborhood and began pissing in some random's lawn. Okay. When he was out of sight, Tora rested his head on my shoulder and held my hand in the back of the car. Oh, you're dating somebody else, but you're hand holding? For real though, sexual assault is a very serious thing. Los Angeles is wild. I didn't really want him to touch me, but I unfortunately am a people pleaser and let him. He just said something along the lines of how he was so sorry and hoped I wasn't mad at him. I don't remember my response, but whatever it was, probably to get him to lay off because I was upset and didn't want to talk about it. I cannot remember if this tweet was before or after he did this, but here's a tweet I made that Tora encouraged just to prove there was a point in time where the Uber driver was not present. That is unrelated. That is a huge fucking risk of the Uber driver to just let two randos stay in your car while it's running. Oh man, dude is lucky it didn't get worse. After a bit, we finally made it to Scar City Airbnb. It's fun, and Tora gets to meet everyone for the first time. I had already met them the day before when we went to the aquarium, and that's when I borrowed my friend's laser pen lights for the concert. We got there pretty late, as the tweet above shows, and my hotel was over an hour drive away, so the Airbnb gang let us both spend the night. Kioi, nailed it. Scar's partner, and also a great friend, brings us a spare pillow and blanket. The plan is for us to sleep on each end of the couch. Here's the floor plan to help. Tora's side of the big couch, my side of the big couch. Oh, I like those L angles. Laser's room, coffee table, TV. Oh, my throat is getting dry. Everyone calls it for the night when I am laying on my back on one side of the couch. Tora is on his phone from what I remember on the other side. Laser is awake but in his room with the door closed. However, one thing L couch. Yeah. Taking a real L. Gotta hydrate more. However, one thing to note about his room is that the door was shuttered, which means you can see movement through each side and you could hear quite a bit. After some time of us both being on our phones, I hear Tora asking me if I love him. Wow, okay. L couch is a W. Unironically true. L couches are W's. I am still upset and I do not answer. It feels like a split second afterward I hear shuffling and moving, and the next thing I know, Tora is on top of me, and the way he was on me, I couldn't push him off. I remember in this exact moment I felt fear, upset, and confusion. He doesn't stop there though. So yeah, here's where we're getting into the big old trigger warning. Yeah, this is very not good. Oh, Tora is at least manipulative according to what she is describing. Absolutely the same thing I'm thinking. And we will see just how manipulative he actually is with how he responds to this call out. Cuz we're halfway through the call out. And there were a lot of people that shared so many people that shared their side of the stories. I don't have time to go through all of them, but goddamn, it's not just one person making a call out document. It's somebody that's actually a danger, at least from what we're seeing. Continuing on. He kisses me on the cheek and whispers in my ear. I do not remember exactly what he says to me, as I have repressed a lot of the specifics, but what I can say is I did not consent. I did not want him on top of me, I did not want him to kiss my cheek, and I did not want him to get close to me. I wanted to disappear from the moment. I wanted to scream or cry or shove him off, but I was frozen. I couldn't move. Was he going to stop there? I hoped he would. I was pinned. I was helpless. I remember asking him what the fuck he was doing, and luckily Lasers on the other side of his room heard me, or movement, because he came outside of his room. When Tora heard him coming, he practically flew off of me. Him doing that shows me that he knew what he had done was wrong. Lasers didn't see or hear everything from what I remember, but he, from my memory, said he heard movement and wanted to see what was happening. I was too scared or shocked to say anything. Tora ended up changing the subject and brought up how ominous Lasers looked in the doorway of his room, because it was the only thing lit around us. He then took a picture of Lasers, which he then also ended up editing to remove both of our heads, because I am also visible in the original photo, and showing it to his stream. Yeah, that's something VTubers commonly do with each other. Show IRL pictures. Yeah, I am glad she actually, like, I am glad Lasers here. Don't know who they are, but glad they heard something and went to check like immediately. Nobody knew that photo was taken after Tora assaulted me. Every time I look at it, I get a pit in my stomach. For privacy purposes of this doc, I will include the edited version. Oh boy. Well, at least no faces. The day after, I don't bring it up until I'm in an Uber with Lasers and Scar before they get dropped off to the convention center. The next stop is my hotel after that. I don't share all the details, but I essentially thank Lasers for saving me. Agreed, W Laser. After the trip. I am mad at Tora still after the trip. It isn't till I agree and admit I hate him in a quote playful interaction where I confront him about everything. The leading on, the bringing up him getting on top of me, aka the assault. I confronted him on the 13th of July 2023. I don't think sharing the entire confrontation is terribly needed, but essentially he brushes off the assault and thinks I'm more mad that we didn't have sex. Oh my god. Dude. And not the emotional manipulation and assault, which I correct him on. He apologizes and says he will be better. Oh my god. How many times have I heard terrible people say I'll do better and then just repeat the same shit? Oh. This is why I don't trust people that tell me they do better or they're changing. You don't earn my trust by saying you're changing. You earn my trust by showing you've changed. By leaving those people the fuck alone. If people think I'm lying, I can include the whole first confrontation in an edited version. Personally, I do not think she is lying. Like, again, I did not personally know Tora. I was vaguely aware from him, and what I knew about him, this tracks so far, so I have no reason in my mind to doubt Lily here. A thing I want to point out here is that he brushed off and didn't address the assault. I didn't want to cut him off entirely back then because I was still attached, because of what he did for me and how he was there for me in a really rough spot. I believed I must have been overreacting and the assault wasn't that big a deal, so I made the mistake of letting him silence me. I'd let him, for the most part, get away with it. I never pushed. Current day. It wasn't until in a VC with some friends recounting the AX trip where I mentioned what happened to me in more fuller detail. That is where I learned what happened to me shouldn't have been brushed off or ignored. I was assaulted, full stop. Hearing those words, applying it to what happened to me, changed things. It reopened the wound. I began to have nightmares. I began to have the situation play over and over in my mind, and I began to think about what would have happened if I did this, that, said this, that, etc. After a few days of coping with this reality, I realized I couldn't let this slide anymore. I confronted Tora, telling him I was going to cancel our upcoming collab and that I wasn't comfortable even being his friend anymore. I will be showing the whole confrontation this time in full because I think it shows how gross and backhanded his apology is. Yeah, I hope Lily doesn't blame herself over what happened here. Not going to be able to do the Saturday collab. Oh, why? Are you okay? No, I don't feel comfortable being your friend anymore either. I have to go to work, so I will delve into it later. What? Wait, what? Lily, are you for real? I'm 100% serious. I see, you could at least give me a brief synopsis of what happened that brought this up. Like I said, I will properly type out everything when I'm home from work. Okay, I understand. Is there anyone else involved I should know about? Bro, let her go to work. Let her cook. And then face your actions. Is there anyone else involved I should know about? I'm sure this might be a misunderstanding. At least I hope so. Good luck at work. No, this is something entirely between you and me. Oh, I just hadn't realized it until now. What? Okay then. Sorry if I ever did anything that upset you, Lily. Take your time, but if you want to instead VC about it, we can. Just let me know. Oh boy. Big post from Tora before Lily gets back from work. I assume this is something you may have been thinking about for a while. I'm sorry if this has been festering and weren't sure of what you wanted to do with your thoughts and feelings. I know I say this all the time and it seems like a joke, but I genuinely do enjoy having you as a friend. We've all had these collabs, or we've had all of these collabs together and have talked with each other about our personal lives throughout the year. When I finally got to meet everyone at AX, you were honestly the one I was most excited to meet. I enjoyed so much of our time together, and I know that I have made some mistakes between us too. I know that the entire situation between us doing things as, quote, more than friends was rough and 100% my fault. I know I have probably offended you with a joke that came off as insensitive or tactless. I do my best to fix my mistakes and learn from them because I want to experience more with you. This is okay. I'm always willing to improve and work through things. If you want me to stop making certain jokes, not bring up certain topics, or work more on specific things, I will. I value your viewpoint on things because I trust you. From my experience, at least, you're one of my closest friends. But of course, I can't force you to like me. If this is something that you seriously feel and it is something that you feel is unfixable, I will respect your decision. I just hope we can rekindle our relationship at some point. I never would want to cause you any emotional harm or stress, Lily. I'm sorry for anything I've done to hurt you. Lily responds, I can assure you this isn't over some joke or something you said, but it's definitely something you did. I had repressed this and didn't pay much thought to it until the AX trip came up in conversation a bit ago. It wasn't until I told some friends about what happened did they tell me straight up, and it forced me to unpack and come to terms with the reality. You assaulted me when we spent that night at the Airbnb. I don't care, and it doesn't matter what you were talking about prior, which I'll get into later, but I didn't consent to you getting on top of me. I didn't consent to you getting close and whispering in my ear. I didn't consent to you kissing my cheek. It didn't matter what we were talking about prior and leading up to the trip. That isn't consent or a good excuse for your actions. I was in so much shock I couldn't properly word everything out. But thank fuck Lasers heard me asking you what the fuck you were doing. I know how you knew it was wrong because when you heard Lasers coming, you practically leaped off me. I buried it so deep in my mind because when I confronted you about the other shit, you never apologized for it. So in my mind, you didn't do anything wrong, right? Maybe I was just overthinking it, but I know now it was wrong. So fucking wrong. I figured something like that wouldn't happen to somebody like me, or that somebody I'd considered a best friend wouldn't do something like that. I've had nightmares about the situations. I've had this scenario play over and fucking over in my head, where I thought about what I should have said. What I should have said, if I was able to push you off. What would happen if Lasers didn't come out? Maybe anything I could have or should have said doesn't matter. But you didn't see anything wrong with it, so fuck me, right? I also didn't realize you had made it official with your partner in March. You've told others when that's when you got together. 1 year in March. Congrats. Do they know you were talking about fucking me in a bathroom in LA a month into it? Do they know you send me unsolicited dick pics 2 months into you dating them? You can't really deny that either. Even in the confrontation, you couldn't get your story right. You admitted and let it slip that you had been dating them in one of the messages, but then swapped back to friends with benefits. What the fuck? rereading everything and seeing what was said, knowing you had a partner at the time, fills me with disgust. I was a fool for ever letting you say those things to me, and I was a fool for letting my guard down. You may have apologized for leading me on, but I doubt you have apologized to your partner for cheating. If I had known that was the case, I wouldn't have encouraged such behavior. There's other things, but essentially that is why. I feel like I let you walk all over me and get away with it, essentially. It hurts knowing that this is the end, but what you did hurts even more. And then oh my god, he responds. And not even his Google Doc response. Water? Yeah, I gotta have some more water. Oh boy. Tora responds, "Hey Lily, regarding the first thing, I knew it was bad because even though lasers did coincidentally go, 'What's going on?' as it happened, I did plan to stop myself after the kiss on the cheek, and it was unfortunate timing that made it look worse." Ah, boy. He was going to stop at the one bit of assault, huh? Very trustworthy. Very, very trustworthy. I'm glad that you brought it up now, because even back then I thought to myself, man, I shouldn't have done that. We didn't agree on doing anything like that. After the bombshell was saying I don't want to do sexual stuff anymore and all that stuff was unwarranted. I'm so sorry about that, and I have apologized to you about it and should have apologized to you about it ASAP. In fact, I should have never done it in the first place. At least he knew he shouldn't have done it. Have a good sleep there, Aiden. Oh, where was I? When you confronted me about all the other stuff, I did have it in mind, but I assumed that it was entailed in the "you are flirting too much and leading me on for nothing at all." I can tell you with confidence that I never, ever, ever, ever would have done anything more than get on top and kiss on the cheek. That's still already crossing the line, dude. Because number one, I already told you that by that point, I did not want to go through with doing anything too physical like sex. But jumping on top and kissing on the cheek is fine for you. Wild expectations from some people. Excuse me. And number two, I, with 100% honesty, was thinking of it as like playful stuff, like jumping on your friends, hugging them, being annoying. That's a little step further than playful, friendly banter. I distinctly remember thinking to myself that I was to not touch your butt or breasts or anything like that, but I went for the kiss on the cheek, which I should not have done. I think in all honesty, I was being insecure about you not wanting to be my friend anymore. I kept bothering you and saying, "Do you love me?" and stuff like that, and I didn't want you to hate me. Oh yeah, this is just feeding into my personal issue of I don't like it when people say they love me. Yay! Where was I? In the end, though, that was a completely unwarranted thing to do and very immature and insensitive. I am very sorry about that. Regarding the second thing, we didn't become quote unquote official until after AX, when I talked to them seriously about being a serious couple. May is when we first went on our date, and we decided that for that to be our anniversary date. We both liked each other, but it was still an open relationship until after AX, when we discussed being monogamous. Well, this is minor crime. I'm guessing the other things is why he got chased away. I definitely expected worse when I heard sexual assault, but like it's a spectrum. There's a lot of variety of what can and cannot be or what is sexual assault, and none of it's good. I'm just glad it wasn't as bad as it could have been. And oh my god, this is going to keep going. Where was I? We both liked each other, but I was still in an open relationship until after ANX when we discussed being monogamous. Our situationship beforehand was that we both liked each other and wanted to continue dating, but we never discussed how open we would be regarding other people. I called her my girlfriend at the time because that was my mental decision at AX to call her that. They know how I talked to other people before that time, and we actually had a lot of discussion about it. They had a lot of self-doubt in themselves since they always thought, oh, Tora is talking with other girls, and I'm just another one of them. That's why I made it the very critical decision during AX to not go through with our impromptu let's try sex thing we planned. Dude, you didn't plan any of that shit. There was, from what I saw, there was some sexual talk, but there was no actual, we're planning on doing this, let's get her done kind of thing, dude. So it's pretty telling to me where the dude's mindset is at. I was so very, very clear to my partner about what had happened. They know that we had talked a lot of personal things to each other and have had a thing before. I told them about the trip and what we did. We both came to terms with that. They are happy I did not go through with the sex, but if I did, they can't get mad about it because we never discussed being in an exclusive relationship. Well, I mean, you can get mad at the jumping on top and not having consent, but okay. Okay, the next line's getting cut off, so I'm not even going to try to read it. I profusely apologize for the shitty behavior that I had the night after Hololive. That has no excuse, and I'm glad I didn't go further than I already did. The damage is done, though, and I feel terrible that you had nightmares and have stressed so much about the situation. I could have been more transparent about the exact situation I had with my partner, and I 100% should have. It's not what you should be focusing on. I really don't want to lose you as a friend, Lily. If there's anything else you would like to get off your chest, I'm willing to listen. I'm so sorry about causing you all of this turmoil and despair. I would never wish for you to have this burden on your mind regarding me. I stopped stream early because I wanted to make sure I typed everything correctly. If possible, do you want to VC between us after we both take in all the information? 15, 9:25. Okay, so like 10 minutes later. I'm so sorry, Lily. You are also one of my best friends. I never want to hurt you. I can't change the past. I wish this was resolved a lot earlier so that it didn't have to boil over and become so stressful. Why else mention the other relationship? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know why he's going this way that he is when confronted about it. So at 9:25 p.m. he did the love bombing with the I'm so sorry, Lily, you're one of my best friends. That's pretty manipulative. Then at 9:50, for the exact timeline that I can give from Tora again, by the way, for the exact timeline that I can give some clarification of, if you wish, early 2023, Tora and Lily were flirting back and forth a lot, perhaps planning doing sexy stuff at AX later that year. Not really from what I saw. Late April, first date with girlfriend. I have no idea why I told other people it was March. I don't know either, dude. In this time frame of being in a situationship, we only met up in person once a month and messaged each other once every couple days if we wanted to meet up again. I was considering how much I liked them and if I wanted to go steady. By the time AX happens, we had 3 dates. Late June, early July, AX happens. I decide to call off the intimate night together, but I also become cringe and immature because I didn't want Lily to hate me. Is that his description of the event? He called it off, and he also became cringe and immature because he didn't want Lily to hate him? The minds of some people, wild. August, another female friend literally visits Tora's house with the intentions of dating afterwards. It was a very tough situation because the new female friend really wanted to date Tora, but by then Tora had decided to shut them down. It was another very stressful weekend with pain and sadness. Tora's GF was very distraught about Tora going out and spending... This is all Tora saying this stuff, by the way. Spending an entire weekend with a girl they don't know. Right after that one weekend, Tora and GF had a very serious discussion about how they wished to proceed in their relationship. Beforehand, all we did were get-togethers and where we hung out. We didn't talk about becoming exclusive until that point. Same day, about 8 minutes later or so, Tora again. I know I'm rambling and repeating myself a lot. I genuinely don't want to lose you as a friend. It's tearing me up at this moment at the thought of it. But yeah, in the end, the first situation is 100% my fault. I was stupid. I'm so sorry about that. I should have never ever done it in the first place. I did it and it's in the past. I can't atone for that. Oh my God, dude. I cannot apologize enough for how idiotic I was about that. I hope you can forgive me. And the second situation is a lack of clarification on my part on the set of events that were happening. It is luckily all good and my partner understands what happened. I'm sorry we didn't discuss this earlier. And then like another 10 minutes later, just under, I think, I'm happy to fill in any... Tora again. I am happy to fill in any gaps and discuss anything else you have in mind. I want to work through this, Lily. I'm not saying this for future sexual gratification. You are really putting people's minds at ease here. I wonder what his type speed is. Unironically, dude types a ton. Or so I can be the, quote, better one that wins the argument in that situation. I take responsibility for my mistakes and wish to make it better. I fucked up. I'm so sorry. I really, genuinely, wholeheartedly, genuinely, without a doubt, genuinely love you as my friend. I don't want to lose a dear friend, someone I can talk with about anything, someone I can have fun with and even discuss personal matters with, someone I have had so many amazing memories with, someone I care about. Oh my God, dude, the love... The manipulation is just dripping. Once again, I'm sorry for everything. I'm sorry for repeating myself so much. I'm sorry for all the mistakes I've made. I beg you for forgiveness. I'll be in bed watching videos. I'm ready to talk more whenever you want. Take your time. 40 minutes later, Tora again, OMG, I'm so sorry you had to deal with other stuff today as well. That reads to me like he's watching her Twitter. You can go ahead and deal with that first and relax a bit. We can talk anytime. About 6 minutes later, Lily finally replies. I don't believe you for a second, unfortunately saying it was, quote, wrong. If you knew you shouldn't have done that, why the fuck didn't you apologize anyways? Even if you had no intention of furthering that in the moment, I had no idea what you were going to do. All I was experiencing was shock and fear. You were on top of me. How was I supposed to think properly? Also, do not fucking try to sit here and downplay it to me by trying to say, quote, it was playful. Friends do not get on top of each other like that and kiss each other on the cheek. Friends don't assault each other. Do not sit here and try to make yourself feel better for doing so. I will not allow this disrespect and let you walk all over me. I shouldn't have let it go the first time anyways. The fact that majority of your messages are addressing the timeline and dating situation also shows me enough. I doubt you're even sorry. If you were, you would have mentioned it in the first confrontation. To me, it seems like you were not sorry it happened, but you're sorry you were caught. Lily, I'm sorry it came off that way. Sorry it came off that way is not an apology either. And Tora continues, I'm sorry about that. I just wanted to clarify that there was no cheating in my relationship with my partner. That was not the big part. That was not the big issue. The big issue was the assault. And yes, the playful part doesn't matter in the end. You were uncomfortable about it, and I shouldn't have done it in the first place. I know that what has happened was very bad, and I can't change the past anymore. Whatever excuses I make doesn't downplay how horrible of a situation it must have been for you. I'm sorry for causing you that stress and fear. I'm sorry for being so stupid in the first place. I never would hurt you, but I did unintentionally, and there is no taking it back. I'm sorry. My God. I just want to say all this I'm sorry over everything, just constant, is putting so much pressure on her to say it's okay or to kind of dismiss it somewhat. If the dude genuinely felt bad, at least in my opinion, he should say, thank you for being my friend thus far, and just moving on with his life, because he's clearly causing distress for the person he's talking to and does not leave her alone, it seems. Tora again, 8 minutes later. Back then I was incredibly stupid and immature when it came to making sure all parties involved were aware and consenting of what's happening. It was a year ago, dude. God, aren't we adults? That's why we put minors don't interact in our bios. Oh, I hate VTubers. I'm just going to move on. Lily responds, you closed cringe nay babies because somebody complained. If nobody did, I bet it'd still be open. Also, it hasn't even been a year. What is with this back then bullshit? Lily, you're amazing. Back in the middle of 2023, yeah. Like, in the middle of we're in the first quarter of the year. Hate you too, Oomphy. Yep. Guy's not taking a hint. That, and he just can't let go. He fucked up. If he's actually going to own it, he needs to stop pestering the people who he bothered. That's just my 2 cents. What do I know? Unironically, that's when I changed from flirting wowie all the time and possibly being polygamous. I think he means polyamorous, like where everybody can pursue relationships freely kind of thing. Polygamous, to my understanding, is one person in the relationship can pursue other relationships freely, but the other person can't. So it's like one guy can have 7 wives, but the 7 wives can only date the one husband. That kind of thing. I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me in the comments. Send a flame war. I love the engagement. I just let it fester. Lily, are you okay to talk right now? We can if you want to. Are we not talking right now? As in VC. I know we will be going back and forth a lot. You can record it if you want to or whatever. The last thing I want to do is get in a voice call with you right now. Okay, I'm sorry. Man, I wish I had boob physics. Completely unrelated to what we're reading. Will you ever forgive me? I'm getting main character syndrome vibes. I don't know how I can make it up to you. I'm so sorry about this, that this has been eating you and you for so long. I'll put it in the back of my mind too and continue talking to you normally for the past several months, which I should not have done. But yet you didn't bring it up the first time. Never brought it up when you could have, even after all this time. Even now, you're refusing to even say what you did, just beating around the bush. It was not just a horrible situation or a uncomfortable one. It was fucking assault. Tora responds, you brought it up for us already though. Bro, when we talked about it in mid-July, you said I got on top of you, and I'm literally saying right now as well that it was literally a horrible thing. I'm not beating around the bush. It was bad. I suck. I did that to you without making sure you were okay with it. Didn't even build up to it, dude. I did intimate stuff to you without consent. I literally cannot be more specific that I did something bad. I don't know what else I can do to admit my actions were wrong. Lily responds, I was fucking naive. How? Okay, we're almost done. Shit, where was I? Lily responds, I was fucking naive. I didn't realize the severity of it until somebody pointed it out and told me. I repressed it thinking, not me, right? That couldn't happen to me. And I especially didn't think that somebody, even though they hurt me prior, would decide to take advantage of my vulnerability and trust for them and do something like that. It wasn't until somebody told me exactly what happened to me did I finally get to unpack and realize the problem and the truth. And it's going to be a lot of Tora responding. It doesn't look like Lily responds to that since. By the way, for anyone ever in that situation, do not do it on your own. Just use second party. Oh, like, don't directly VC with them? Yeah, no, I get that. I would not want to be talking to the dude that much either. But that's just me. Anyways, Tora responds after a minute. Yes, and it is very severe. I understand, and you also understand it. I can't change the past. I can promise that I regret it deeply. Just words, dude. I can promise that it would never happen again. Just words, dude. I can only depend on your trust for me that you believe in me. I'm not downplaying that this has caused a lot of stress and bad thoughts. I wish I never did. Or at least discussed it earlier. I just hope that you trust that I am better and would never hurt you or anyone else like that ever again. Oh, just words, dude. Just words. At the very least, I hope I give you closure on this. I never wanted to hurt you. I'm deeply sorry that my actions have hurt you. I wasn't using you to cheat on my partner. Whatever happened between us was just us. Going back over the stuff you've already talked about. Very productive. I hope in the 2.5 years of us knowing each other is enough proof that I don't mean to harm you. If I ever did, it is a mistake that I made and will own up to it. I want to make more happy memories together, talk more together, play more together, and grow together. I will never, ever, 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 ever do anything to hurt you intentionally. Again. I understand if you want to respond tomorrow. It's late for both of us. And he keeps going. Okay, I appreciate you telling me your feelings about this, Lily. You respected me enough to give me your thoughts on the matter and discuss it like adults. I really appreciate it. Whatever you decide to do, I hope we can at least be on amicable terms and at least start over. I also will, of course, keep this between us only. I hope you can do the same. Take care of yourself and stay healthy. I know you had a long, stressful day. Try to eat and sleep well. The concert will be pretty long like last time. I'll be here to talk more whenever you're ready. If there's anything else you need, let me know. Enjoy the concert. And then the next day, but to clarify, this is about an hour and a half later. Like, the last message he sent was 11:41 p.m., right before the end of the day. The next message was 1:14 a.m. the next day. I can't sleep. I can't stop thinking about it. I'm sorry, Lily. At the very least, you take as much time as you need to heal and separate from me. I'm here to talk whenever you want to, because that's what people want to do. Talk to the people that fucking assaulted them. Dude, stop. I want to provide any closure that is needed. We don't have to talk about it now. We can talk about it tomorrow, next week, or next month, or whatever. I am hoping that we can have a positive outcome from this. I hope you feel the same way too, and I appreciate you respecting me enough to talk to me like an adult privately instead of impulsively making a twit longer or something. Just please let me know what you wish to do. I will respect your decision. Feel free to read the message and now the document continues on. Feel free to read the message in full, but the fact that he brings up how he was glad I didn't impulsively make a twit longer is a weird ad. Oh yeah, it's 100% a weird ad. Why would he include it? Asking it to not be shared is also a weird ad. To me, it kind of raises a flag of like, why don't you want other people to hear about it, huh? I mean, aside from saving face, you definitely wouldn't want one person to come forward and then have 3, 4, or even more people come out with their own stories of weird situations you've been in together. Tora also did not keep it between us. I have confirmed proof of him going to other people who are also close to me and telling them it was all a misunderstanding. Assault is not a misunderstanding. Saying you are sorry you came off that way is not an apology. He couldn't even admit he assaulted me. He didn't say assault once in his messages. I wasn't going to share my story. I really wasn't. But it wasn't until he went around to my friends for damage control did it really spark something within me. He wasn't sorry. He hasn't changed. He doesn't care that he hurt me. He cares that he got caught and the future that it could have for his career. He was willing to throw away all the memories and take advantage of me and my trust. I can't even begin to formulate how hurt I am by that realization. Well, guess what? I will not be disrespected. I will not sit here and let you silence me. I will not let you go around telling my friends that assault was a misunderstanding. I will no longer be manipulated by you. I will not let you get away with backhanded apologies and crocodile tears. I will no longer defend and turn a blind eye to your horrible habits and words you say about others. No more. I am done. I know this may come as a shock because to many we were really good friends, best friends even. We had great chemistry on streams, and we seemed inseparable. I know both of our communities like to watch us interact. I am sorry I let you all down. Okay, Lily, you have not let me down at all. I know I'm not part of your community, and you might not even watch this video, but this is not your fault. It's not letting, in my opinion, you haven't let anybody down. I'm sorry if this is disheartening to hear, but it's the truth. I know I am far from a perfect good person either. However, what happened to me, I believe, could have happened to any naive friend who wanted to see the good in a friend who was there for you. I found courage to share this because I know I'm not the only feminine person he interacts with, and I do not want you to be blinded by numbers and sweet talk. Please keep yourself safe. I also hope this doesn't start another, quote, male VTuber moment. Yes, there are bad male VTubers, like there are bad apples in any community. There are plenty of good male VTubers too. A male VTuber saved me, in my own words, from a bad situation, the assault, and multiple male VTuber friends of mine have rallied and supported me behind the scenes before I even made this document. I could not have done this without them and any of my friends coming out and supporting me. For so long, I believed I was crazy and overreacting, and I felt so emotional and seen when they validated me. I will come back to streaming when I can cope with this mess better. I am strong and brave, and I will keep moving forward. Thank you for your time, Lily. So that was pretty rough to go through overall. So Tora dropped his own response. Can we still see his? Yeah, he was sitting around 20,000 followers before he, deleted. So he deleted this document off of his Google Drive, but I saved my own copy. But rather than just directly going through this, I think I have stumbled across somebody that has a bit more of an expert opinion looking into this thing. Not this person. This is their TLDR. I'm gender fluid, male presenting. I have been dating Tora for around 11 months. There were plenty of misunderstandings, but I will not deny what he put through Lily through is unacceptable. I wish to keep things private between us and to be a good and to be a boy here. So basically, this person Tora gets called out for sexual assault, and their partner says, I'm staying with them. I honestly don't know how long this document is. Oh, this is just a couple pages. Shall we go through it? Let's go through it, I guess. Okay, so to start, I'm a male presenting gender fluid individual. My pronouns he, him online, and prefer to be acknowledged as male. We have been dating roughly 11 months now, which is roughly... Is this the person they were dating? It seems to line up. I agree. I also wish Lily the best. Been dating for 11 months now. He has learned a lot through dating through me, but there's no denying it. It was a very rough start. I will not go too much into depth about our relationship, but I will show a timeline of us dating, which to me, this is just screaming about, hey, this is all about Tora's not a cheater. That's what it sounds like it's focusing on. From here, stop focusing on the online aspect of a relationship, focus more on the IRL. That's probably the better thing to do in a relationship. Because, you can get social connection online, but it is no real substitute for real-life interpersonal connection. This is to put in perspective our relationship from my point of view and my thoughts about the situation that have occurred. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm going to be speed reading through this, FYI. May 23rd, around May 20th. Asked about us, but never fully established a fully monogamous relationship. Okay. Chatting more, put us into a situationship. He told me, after AX, he told me a different story similar to Lily, but opting out the part where he got on top of or extremely close to her and made her feel uncomfortable. So he lied to you. This was when we also fully decided to pursue each other and move on to a more serious long-term relationship. He would begin to work on being less flirty outright towards people or leading people on, as he has a tendency of that. I'm not defending him, but he did not cheat on me, as his interactions were not serious about any dating, and it was still utterly wrong for him to have led people onwards thinking about the possibility. Leading people on is not the big problem with this situation. It is a problem, but it's not the big problem of this situation. Mid-July, a situation occurred, made me realize he needed to focus more on making it clear to others and his audience of his stance on dating and flirting with others without outright saying we have been a couple. After much, I will continue our relationship. However, I informed him that what he did is not acceptable at all. As a woman, it is never okay to make a woman uncomfortable. It is never okay to beg for favors or corner us. I will do my best to help him understand the severity of the situation while concentrating on building a future with him outside of VTubing. Yeah, I'm not going to... I intended to come out as gender fluid here later in Pride Month, but I believe it was crucial for me to come out now and explain my timeline. I'm gonna be real, I don't know what their gender identity has to do with it. It does really come across to me like playing defense for the person you care about, which I understand wanting to do that. So Lily saw Mizuki, I'm going to call him Mizuki, saw Mizuki's response, and they tweeted, I debated holding my tongue about this, but why did you lie to me? You confidently told me in private you were not going to be with him anymore. You do not support me and the other victims by dismissing this. I'm incredibly hurt. And, well, quote tweeting Mizuki's response. Hey, Lily, this is me, Mizuki, DMing. Hey, Lily, I hope you're doing well. I wish for you nothing but to heal from this. I'm so sorry you went through that. He lied to me from the start, it seems. I will be putting out a statement too, but I will do my best to keep it all onto you. Well, that's a little different than what we just went through. This is your story. You didn't deserve that. No matter how close you two were, he didn't have to do all that, no matter what state of mind he was. I'm glad you chose to come out and speak about this. I had no idea of any of it. He did not tell me it went that way. He made up a story to keep me on his side. I am breaking up with him soon. I will not tolerate someone who pounces at friends and lies to me, no matter if it was in the past. I hope you're doing well. Sending you all the support needed. So I do wonder what's going on behind the scenes there, but I'm leaving it at this. This is all I know. But, oh yeah, one thing to really point out before we get too far, because we will get to this later. In his response, right here at the end, it was pretty telling about where his concerns are. A big disappointment is that I have a lot of very amazing and beautiful model, asset, background music, and art pieces which will go to waste. I'm so sorry to the artists who have provided these things for me. If anyone would like to purchase any of these for exactly the price that I had purchased, with receipt evidence, you may contact me at the email, which I will keep open. Nobody is going to fucking buy the model of a VTuber who's graduating over sexual assault accusations. And also, here is Tora's model artist. Hello, I was Tora's model artist. There was no communication from Tora regarding the resale of his live 2D model, and I doubt there was for any of his other assets. Please do not buy it. It makes me extremely uncomfortable that someone might pay for a used model from someone who committed such a thing. Since he has the files, the most I can do is urge people not to get it. I will be reworking and repurposing the model files. It'll be shared free for anyone who wants to learn live 2D layering or rigging instead. Thank you for understanding. Which, honestly, respect. It's all you really can do at that point. So, here's another person talking like they had spoke with Tora. They confronted them the night before he responded dropped, and it sounds like, well, here's this line: he was more concerned about getting his friends into VC to clear his name than trying to make a genuine apology. We will see just how genuine his apology is. And yet another person sharing their experiences with him. But here is the tweet that caught my eye the most. I, someone with a degree in psychology and a victim of SA, went over this apology document. My replies are in red. It made me this upset. It brought back memories I didn't want to remember. It needs to be seen and heard. And this is something wicked. I found them from this tweet. So, they've got a lot to say. They've got a lot to say. Do we want to go through all of this? Not really, but will we? Yeah, probably. Hello, everyone. This is torakaru. Hello, hi. This is Wicked. Wicked has a degree in psychology with a minor in English literature. So Tora puts out, hello, everyone. This is Tora. I fucked up. That's all I can really say about it. No matter what I say as an excuse, I will take accountability for it. All of it. Do not go after anyone else not involved. So right off the bat, he's downplaying it. He's speaking of it vaguely. He's not directly saying what he did. That's the biggest thing to me if you do get called out for shit, the biggest thing is to actually own up to it, be able to say it directly if you're actually going to take accountability for it. Wicked goes on to say, improper way to admit guilt / start an apology. Apology begins about them and not the victim. Like, yeah, it's literally about him. Don't look for scheming? What do you mean? TLDR, accept my failure and graduate entirely. I'm not going on hiatus. There will be no alternate persona. It is a complete graduation. Wicked comments, unnecessary to add at the beginning. Reads as a pity party before the apology begins, which, yeah. What I will say first is thank you to everyone who ever did believe in me, past or present. I am sorry to make it end in such a way. I appreciate all the good times and bad. I genuinely did enjoy talking to so many of you. I made a lot of close friends and was able to meet so many amazing people. I know it was wrong because of why I did X. I know it was wrong because of why I will improve in the future. He's canceling himself. Well, what was it? H Bomber guy's video when he was talking about what was it? Philip, like the first section after the preamble. When he was talking about Philip and how he was responding to getting called out for plagiarism, he was H-Bomb had said how the guy would talk about things vaguely so that you start wondering what actually happened, so you start to forget what did actually happen. Like, he makes it I fucked up. That's all I can really say about it. No matter what I say as an excuse, I will take accountability for it. All of it. But he doesn't specify what it is. He's making it sound vague, like you can play whatever you want in your mind to think about it, and really not how you want to address accusations of sexual assault. Wicked saying this first paragraph here was love bombing, guilt tripping, bringing up happy memories to persuade the audience the apology isn't about something as serious as they think. There are probably a lot of people who think badly of me from word of mouth, from seeing how I may interact with others and how I generally post whatever I feel like saying. I'm 100% sure there are many people that thought, this guy is just a flirt, or that guy is a clout chaser, or that guy artificially inflates his numbers, and so on and so on. And likewise, there may be people who always thought, nah, he's not that bad, he is just dumb, like immediately trying to muddy the waters about what's actually going on. He's downplaying this shit. Wicked's comment, nothing here applies to the apology. It's an attempt to make the reader feel guilty about their own thoughts. Whether accurate or not, they do not apply to the situation. Literally, yeah, it's just muddying the waters. I've been called out by many to be tactless and insensitive to others many times. I will say that when it happened, I tried my best to improve. Of course, the results in the end are what matter. Forgiveness is provided by victims, and many times there is no reason for there to be any forgiveness. Whatever intentions you have do not directly correlate to what is perceived. This sounds like jibber jabber to me. Wicked's comment, this entire paragraph is a lot of words that simply boil down to nothing. It's the last sentence, however, that gets me. Whatever intentions you have do not directly correlate with what is perceived. Let's put this in smaller words. Whatever goals you have in mind don't relate to what you see. This sentence is telling the audience, I think you have an agenda you're using against me, and you're using my sexual assault as a means to cancel me. Which is the vibe I've been getting. Hey Lena, how you doing? We're talking about sexual assault. So, trigger warning. There are a couple things that were said in the document which can make everything seem infinitely worse than how it was initially. Your side is valid, correct. However, so is Lily's side. You can't begin your apology with the waffle above and then turn around and say Lily's side was just an attempt to drag your name through the mud. We'll see, by your own words in this document, that your own document actually makes the situation incredibly worse. And I did do a little foreshadowing talking about how he's trying to sell his model. First and foremost, it's no secret that I flirt around with a lot of people. Wicked's note, first sentence invalidates the other paragraph regarding people perceiving you as a flirt, and you alluding to how that's wrong or a jab at the audience. This guy is just a flirt. Yeah, like, man, this dude. It's going to get a little confusing and tricky, so I do highly recommend taking the time to read the text that I'm going to keep on the screen. Red is the person with the background in psychology knowing what they're talking about. Most of the time it would just be compliments or not safe for work compliments. Further context is necessary. Where do these comments occur? Are they comments to random people you just met or friends? That is a big thing to pay attention to. Is it somebody that actually wants to see those comments? That led to nowhere. I sometimes would end up engaging in intimate online relationships with others. When it came to a very not safe for work relationship such as these, I 100% made sure that there was no dedicated commitment, and it was not expected for me to purely talk to that single person, with many other people also providing their insight and personal experiences. If those ever came off as crude and disgusting, I am sorry for that. 100% of the time, I was either teasing or making a nasty joke, but sometimes I clearly forgot to ask if something like that was all right to say. Or, you know, adding a VTuber you hardly know to a list titled Tora's Harem. Like, I don't think we actually had a direct conversation. We might have. I won't be able to find out now. Probably. I think I'm shadow banned. Whatever. My story in this is not relevant. I am just conveying I am just doing what I can to help spread the reach of what actually happened. Where was I? Your inability to understand that this is crude and disgusting is unsettling and shows you simply cannot see how your actions are inappropriate. You do not apologize for them. You apologize if the audience of them sees them as crude. This is going back to the, you're not sorry you did it, you're sorry you got caught. It's running in the same vein. Or it continues, I had to learn a lot about conversing properly in an online setting throughout the years. I still have a lot more to learn. Not an excuse, never will be. Like, you can find flirty VTubers. They exist, but they're not every single fucking VTuber. Tora continues, I've also been raised to give others affection through words. Wicked's comment, there is a difference in affection through words and love bombing for control / to get what you want. They exist, wink wink. Yes, they actually do. I can give you a list if you want. I can name at least 2 off the top of my head that enjoy hearing that, you know, they like when people enjoy their voices or their content. Talking about self? I'm okay with it, but I mean, I know, like, specifically it's their kink that they enjoy hearing that people get off to just their voice kind of thing. For me, I don't care that much. Let's see. Tora continues, if I have the knowledge that someone is a minor / can't consent to a non-safe for work, I would never engage in non-safe for work conversation. I tell everyone that I think is nice, cool, caring, etc. that I love you. Wicked's comment, love bombing, I love you carried heavy weight with some people. Because it's diluted to you does not mean it's diluted to others. You simply do not take your conversation partner's feelings into consideration when communicating with them. Tora, everyone who is in my family and my friends knows that I tell everyone that I love them. Wicked, again, not an excuse. These are friends and family, not people online. Not people you want to, quote, have seggy time with on a trip. Tora, I apologize if this makes anyone uncomfortable, but I am not being malicious by calling someone that I considered a younger sibling cute. This is nothing but a burger apology. I'm sorry if you took offense, but it wasn't so like. Likewise, if a minor was to engage in not safe for work talk with me, I would immediately retract and stop interacting, which is, well, what you should expect. Second, I would like to assess the issue of me cheating with my current partner. Not the issue. At least to me, I don't give a shit if VTubers are cheating on their partners. I give a shit if VTubers are sexually assaulting their friends at conventions. I feel there's crosstalk. There is a little crosstalk. I'm just going to skip past the cheating stuff because I just don't give a shit. Third most important topic at hand, the event at the Airbnb. There's a lot of hearsay of exactly what happened. I mean, it's not like there's a recording of it, is there? God, I hope not. You later prove in this document, Wicked responses. Excuse me. Either she told him something different or he trying to mislead. Honestly, I don't even know if it's malicious or not, but I do know that Twitter loves to take any sort of discourse and run with it and like paint the people they hate in as bad a light as possible. So like personally, I've known of a few VTubers that have been like, you're a cheater, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. Why does it matter to me? I guess I don't care because I'm not trying to pursue any type of relationship with other creators. Man, people are stupid. Okay, Wicked's comment, you later prove in this document that it wasn't hearsay, but actual truth. This tells me that you still don't understand the ramifications and intentions of your own actions. It's concerning because we have seen the term "he's changed" thrown around, and if you don't see your actions as a problem, you cannot change. Tora continues, this is unfortunate because of everything that has been said about the event was from an undocumented night with only memories from 9+ months ago from various accounts. It was a very emotional time for everyone involved. In the event, there were 3 people involved: Lily, Tora, and Lasers. What he's being called out for is not the HoloLive concert stuff. This is just distracting people from what they should be focusing on. Context for what had occurred in the months prior: me and Lily were planning to be intimate physically the night before or the night after the HoloLive concert. Show the screens. Okay, so he's showing screens that were only showed in Lily's document. Okay. Where was I? Right here. We both mutually agreed that we would show the screens. Motherfucker. You're going to show screens later in the document. Why can't you show this? I had asked her several times whether or not she wanted to continue with the plan leading up to the vacation. She had agreed with me every time. I would not have continued if she said no a single time. Directly after the HoloLive concert, I decided to tell Lily that, quote, I would no longer like to continue with the arrangement. I want to commit to someone else, my current partner, and stop what is between us, me and Lily, before it gets any worse. Which apparently he said before going to standing on top of him. Well, I mean, yes, screenshots can be faked, but at least it's an attempt to try and prove something. Because, like, he's right here, he's complaining about, oh, it's all hearsay. And then he's going into hearsay himself. That's my issue. He's not really trying to substantiate it. He's just trying to be heard out. Trying to make it that you're listening to his hearsay. That's how I'm reading it. While waiting for the Uber and driving all the way towards the Airbnb, Lily was not very talkative. Very understandable due to hearing a big change in plans than what was previously mentioned. Wicked comment, I want the audience of this checks to read that Tora admits Lily was not talkative or responsive right here. Yeah, like, that definitely means go ahead with doing stuff. Tora continues, I had immediately become very anxious at Lily becoming nonverbal and proceeding to ask her if she was all right. My form of being annoying and prodding in general is to ask things such as, are you still my friend? Do you love me? I still love you, Lily. Please don't be mad at me, and so forth. Holy shit, dude, the manipulation. Wicked's comment, your psychological love bombed her right there. You textbook followed exactly what it means to love bomb someone to get the outcome you desired. Yeah, it's, are you still my friend? That is so fucking manipulative. I would continue being petty and prodding by doing it while poking her and holding her hand. Inappropriate. You told a woman after planning for days, weeks, months, whatever, that you no longer wanted to have sex with her. That's your right. You have every right to, even to the last second, back out. What you don't have the right to do is continually play with her emotions and manipulate her when she's clearly nonverbal. Tora continues, we had a fun time playing games and indulging in different substances late into the night. This does not help. Wicked's comment, substance inclusion, feels like this might become a cop-out later if your apology doesn't go according to plan. It really has no merit in the document here other than to pave the way for such later on. Tora continues, me and Lily did not feel like taking an Uber all the way back to downtown, so we decided to sleep on the couch provided at the Airbnb. Everyone headed to bed, and I was still feeling upset even by now. Lily did not reciprocate any of my attempts to talk with me. So she's not talking to you, so the proper response is to jump on top of her, kiss her on the cheek. Good thinking there, dude. Wicked's comment, she's mad at you, accept it, move on, read a room, read a person, understand the feelings of the person you are attempting to be friends with. Tora, I wish to emphasize how explicitly careful I am now. Wicked says you will never know, but your over-exaggeration at this upcoming detail is uncanny on how liars over-exaggerate details to make the story more believable. You believe by telling us how careful you were that will believe you entirely. Your actions in the raw form should speak for themselves. Tora continues, I know by now I will not engage in any sexual activity with Lily. I just want her to talk to me and tell me she doesn't hate me anymore. I wanted my friend to tell me she was okay, and if she communicated that she wanted me to stop bothering her at any time, I would. I decided to bother her some more before we go to sleep as one final attempt. Bother or talk? She was laying down on a couch with a blanket on top of her. I decided to sit around her knee area like I was sitting down on the couch normally with my legs dangling on the floor. Oh, it's bother. Why touch her at all? It's a couch. Sit on the floor in front of her. Have an adult conversation with her. She isn't a cat. You don't need to sit on her. I don't think at this point he's describing sitting on her. Like she's curled up on the couch and he's kind of sitting at her knees, like right next to her knees, not on top of her. I explicitly do not use my hands at all. Okay, this doesn't negate anything. Sexual acts don't always need hand touches. Tora continues, I was not going to do anything not safe for work, like touching thighs, buttocks, breasts, crotch, or etc. I would not use my hands to touch anything. Wicked, why are you obsessed with your hands here? You're in her space, violating her space, violating the space with someone who isn't talking to you. Consent's not given. She's clearly upset. I continue sitting on her. Oh, okay, so literally admitting to sitting on her. My mistake right there. He already, wronged with him? Maybe Twitter was talking PR move? What? But yes, I think his document is an attempt at PR that just proved to backfire. Sitting on someone is a form of control. It psychologically tells the victim that you are in control. They cannot leave. They're stuck under you. And still no response. Non-consent. I decide to lean over and whisper, Lily, I love you. You're still my friend, right? Wicked. This is intimate, inappropriate, and where the sexual assault really starts to reach its peak. Love bombing combined with physical restraint. Tora, once again, I do not utilize any sexual or deep voice at all because I would not be engaging in any not safe for work activity. Wicked, you're physically controlling them. At this point, I don't care if you speak like Pee Wee Herman. You are sexually assaulting this woman. Tora, this was my annoying, petty, and high-pitched voice that I used to annoy others. Even then, there was no response, and I finished by kissing her on the cheek. Absolutely non-consent. Something that I unironically would do with my straight male friends to get on their nerves. Wicked, your nothing burger excuse doesn't invalidate what you did. You have problems, fix them. Don't use them as an excuse to sexually harass someone. Tora, I decided to stop there because I wouldn't go any further than that. I still wouldn't touch her with my hands. I wouldn't move my legs to straddle her, and I wouldn't kiss her on the mouth. Wicked's comment, oh, I'm so glad your sexual assault has limits. Goodness, we're lucky, aren't we? Sarcasm. You do not get to decide what's sexual harassment. Your victim does. Those of us who have gone through sexual harassment read the signs, and they're clear as day. Tora continues. An unfortunate coincidence is because I was moving around a lot and still not sleeping. A mutual friend had said out loud, "What are you guys doing?" right as I did the last thing. What does this have to do with anything? From what I recall, it's... Didn't Lily say she was, like, she verbally said, "What the fuck are you doing?" And, like, that's when she actually got talkative in this instance of not being talkative? He is mind-luring? Yes. I don't think I know that term, but it sounds accurate. I then laid down on my side of the couch, messed around with my phone, and eventually fell asleep. In the end, this is something that, in the perception of Lily, correct. This is the perception. This perception is the one that matters. I was very intimate and breach of trust from a close friend. My intention was to be annoying and make them talk to me again. I was never told by Lily that she felt uncomfortable even as the event occurred, and we both went to sleep. Wicked responding, she was nonverbal and refusing to communicate with you. You were psychologically manipulating her, controlling her, and physically sitting on her. No, it doesn't have to be spoken. Tora continues, the following day I was never told she felt uncomfortable, and we both said goodbye to each other normally when we separated. I went home and did not contact her for a while because I wanted to give her space since being childish wasn't working. This is why you be an adult. She confronted me on the 13th of July and wanted closure on our events. She quite literally says in the document that I did in fact apologize, but not explicitly. Wicked's note, cool, but this doesn't change what you did. It also doesn't address the fact that you don't see your actions for what they are. Okay, so far just going through this, I definitely believe that Wicked has their background in psychology. They really seem to know what they're talking. AKA the assault, I confronted him on the 13th. This is a screenshot of Lily's own document, where he's highlighting my brain saying, no, don't do that. None of it is your fault, by the way. It's all on me. Even after further asking if she would want to talk more about anything in specific, she says there's nothing else to say. I push no further. I assume everything has been resolved. Lily, no matter what, if I'm dating someone, I would still say that I love you. It's like how I say I love my roommates, I love my parents, I love my friends. I will say there is platonic love and all that. It's very important to establish those boundaries, but it's still no excuse for the actions taken that we've gone over. I love you because we've been good friends for so long, though I guess if you want me to stop saying that to you, then I can. Whatever you're comfortable with this with. Lily responds, please, for now, please don't, because it's messing with my head and it's upsetting, especially with all the previous content. Or context. Excuse me. Highlighted segment. We can stop for now and talk more later whenever you want to. Just let me know. Thumbs up. Lily, I'm not sure what more there is to say. So Tora continues, every single DM afterwards is us talking normally, and this is not brought up ever again. We interacted with each other similarly to how we did before. I had collaboration streams, voice calls, and many Discord messages of us goofing around. There was no further communication about this topic until a couple days ago. Wicked's comment, I refused to talk about my sexual assaults for years until after they happened. It can take a long time to process. Sometimes we develop issues that we had no clue were related to the situation. It isn't until we self-check on ourselves do we finally piece things together. Tora continues, I will say that in person I have quite literally never done anything except for hugging other females in the entire 9+ months that this occurred. I have only been intimate with my partner. Wicked's response does not negate what you did. No reason to state this. Well, I mean, it is pretty telling that when it is pretty telling when I see the use of the term females when talking about women. I never did anything except for hugging other females in the 9 months. Like, that's the connotation it gives off to me when I see people refer to women as females. Tora continues, to let myself and the rest of everyone involved move on, I decided that I will be graduating. This means I will be ending all content creation on all platforms and eventually stop using my Discord. Anyone who wished to remove me on things like mutual video games or Steam, feel free to do so. I don't intend to return to another account, and I don't intend to return after quote everyone forgets. I will separate myself completely from content creation. I understand that some will say good riddance and some will say too hasty of a decision. Wicked's comment, it's not a hasty decision. No one in good faith would support this document of yours. Females are other according to me. Fair. Drives me nuts. Females feel very other vibes. Yeah, it's otherizing. It's actually, unironically, a little dehumanizing. Because, like, what woman actually wants to be referred to as females? I mean, I guess conservative women. Tora continues, this is something that I promised in order to be better as a person. I appreciate everything good that has happened to me, and I will use my bad memories as a learning experience. Thank you. How? When you don't even realize it? Wicked's comment, how when you don't even realize you are committing the act? Yeah, like, so far it doesn't seem like it really doesn't seem like Tora recognizes what he actually did, like what the actual problems were. Goodbye. And then the bit about selling his model and his art, like, nobody's gonna buy it. Wicked's note on this, I know you guys think this is bad. I think it's drama. Personally, I consider crimes to not be drama, but it does lead to a lot of Twitter discourse, which ends up becoming drama. And if you phrase that the wrong way, you can get canceled on Twitter. I know, it's happened to me. Wicked's comment, do you not see how distasteful, tactful, tacky, inappropriate, uncalled for, uncouth, and narcissistic this is to include this? Not only that, but your artists are probably seething at this behavior right now. Your own soundtrack artist says you don't have permission to resell. Oh, right, I forgot I thought I had bookmarked it. But I do know model artist right here was like, yeah, no, you're not reselling my stuff. His background music artist was also like, yeah, no, you're not reselling my stuff. So even after all that document he put out, he still gets pushed back and puts out one final tweet before, doing this to his account. Final edition message before I delete everything. I hurt a lot of people and it's my fault. It has been a long time coming and I've gotten what I deserve. He's making it all about himself. I'll be paying for it by losing everything and everyone I've known for this entire time. Please do not attack anyone else who may be involved or want to share their opinion. Unironically, who is on your side? I've, of course, seen many nasty messages to myself and to many others. I appreciate all constructive messages that criticize me or want to believe I'll learn from this. Personally, I hope you learn from this, Tora. I don't believe you will. Given what I've seen so far, I don't think you've properly recognized the issues. To those who wanted to believe that I can be a better person or those who wanted to believe that I can be a better person are appreciated. I don't care if you appreciate my feelings or not. I will also no longer be selling anything because he got caught selling anything since you would need permission from the artist to do so. Any artist that I've commissioned is now allowed to do whatever they wish. They could do it already. I hope anyone affected negatively can move on in life. I won't be returning on any content creation platform, and hopefully this will all be something to learn from to myself and everyone else involved. I say there's always a deeper hole to dig, and well, he keeps going. Oh, fuck. I could have just run away completely, pretending that my time here was all a dream. I only made these final statements because I know a lot of people would want closure instead of he just left. Ah, Tomato Master? Yes. Yes. That sums it up. Boycott Planet Fitness? I don't fucking know. Twitter sucks. Twitter's weird. God, that's yeah, that's it from the torakaru stuff. Yeah, like right there, that I wanted to give closure really screams main character syndrome to me, because like he didn't properly seem to acknowledge what he actually did was horrible. He didn't directly address what he did. He seemed to have talked about it only in the vague. But there is also a part of me that's like, with how many times he said, I'm going away and not coming back, I really wonder if he will just be coming back. Because, like, you can use voice I need a sippy. You can use speech to text to speech programs. You can use alt accounts. You can't properly prove that you're staying away, really. Trying to pull a pick-a-me? How do you mean pull a pick-a-me? Because pick-a-me was an agency VTuber that planned their graduation and then graduated and then came back as a new VTuber at a different agency, but now she owns the rights to her current design. Yeah, because like Pick-a-me had changed the Because Pick Me did graduate and then come back as a different VTuber. That actually happens all the time. Excuse me. Speaking of incidents, did that plagiarism guy actually game end themselves? James Somerton? Not that I can confirm. Like, this is completely unrelated. I'm gonna wrap up my thoughts before I dive into some Somerton stuff. But yeah, this people, make sure you get your verbal consent. It's not just body language, because sometimes people react impulsively. They just want to try and make things go smoothly so that it doesn't come to the worst situation. Yeah. Get your verbal consent. If you're unsure if you're unsure if the person's interested in you, give them an out, give them space to do their own thing. And by like give them an out, like it's literally can be you get up, go to the bathroom, come back and sit down a few inches further than you did sit previously. Let them come to you, kind of thing. That is a very clear way of telling whether or not they're interested in you. Thanks for watching. Like it if you like it, dislike if you didn't. Let me know in the comments why you think I'm wrong. Check out the community on Discord. And remember, if you can't be the sharpest tool in the shed, you can always be the hoe. Just want to take a quick second and thank all the beeps that have joined my channel through the memberships. So thank you, Joestar, Maxi Kitty, JM, and Hero.